Excuse me, man. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Las Vegas to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
I have an Airbnb business.
How long have you been a business owner for?
About 3 years.
Over these last 3 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Tens of millions of dollars.
$7 million.
5.4 million.
Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm a seller.
Yeah.
I'm a seller. It's just in my nature. That's why I became an entrepreneur.
How old are you now?
39.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
Man, I made my first million when I was 21.
20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
You became a millionaire at 20.
Yeah.
29.
Do you come from money?
No. My dad left my sister and I with my mom when I was 1 and she was 3 years old. I'm a high school dropout and I didn't go to college. But what I always say,
The world becomes a better place when a man plants seeds for the future generations for shade that he will never enjoy.
You made your first $1 million at 21. How can somebody own a Lamborghini in today's world? $45 billion. That's the amount of money that was spent in Las Vegas this past year. And since we're in the city full of money, I'm gonna be going all over to find multimillionaires to ask them how they became wealthy and how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024. So with that being said, let's get this video on the way. All right, you guys, we were at one of the most expensive hotels in all of Las Vegas. This is the Fountain Blue. My guy just pulled up to the valet in a Lamborghini Urus. I'm gonna go up and see what he was able to do to be able to afford this car out in Las Vegas. Let's go see what he has to say. Excuse me, man. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Las Vegas to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
I trade full time and I'm an entrepreneur.
How long have you been a business owner for?
For about 4 years now.
Over these 4 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
1.5 million.
1.5 million.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
24. I just turned 24 last month.
24.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you became a millionaire?
Man, I made my first million when I was 21.
How did that happen? How did you make your first million at 21 years old?
A lot of it came through trading. Now, I will say during that time in the market, it was really easy to make money.
Yeah.
The Fed's pumping the market, COVID, all that stuff. But I would say at the end of the day, I wasn't 7 figures until I did delegate, right? You can't do it all yourself. It is literally impossible. I am not the best at everything my business requires. So you have to find pieces outside of the business, outside of yourself, that can help you do the things that you want to accomplish within the business. And that comes with building a good team. And in order to build a good team, you have to, number one, treat people very well, pay people very well. And you also have to have opportunities of growth within the company with the people that you are looking to have in your company and help you grow.
Now, you made your first $1 million at 21, but at any point in time, have you ever been broke before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was raised by a single mother. Now, she's very successful herself, but she never gave me anything. So everything I have is she made me earn it, which was, number one, the hands down the reason I am the way I am today, because, you just got to figure it out. And for me, it was, I'm not asking my mom for any money, so I was doing Uber Eats and Instacart before all this. So, yeah, I've been there before.
Among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
This may be an uncommon one, but a lot of successful people that I see are married. I got married really young. I was 20 years old when I got married. When you're married and you're not focused on everything outside, you're so focused. So I always tell Shantae, that's my wife, I always told her, I said, you were a business decision. I loved you, right? Don't get me wrong, but you were business too, because I was like, I know myself. But if I'm focused and I'm not worried about anything else, I'm good.
That's a Vega, bro. I've never heard that before. What's been the best financial advice that you've received throughout your career?
I would say, number one, God has to be the foundation of everything, right? If you want to build something, you got to have God at the center of it. And number two is, you can't be upset at the things that come with asking God for stuff. For me, I asked God, hey, I want a 7-figure business, and he threw a bunch of lessons at me that I had to learn in order to get a 7-figure business versus it just falling into my lap. And that was something I had a conversation with a pastor, actually. He told me, hey, man, God has to be the center. And, I felt at that certain time in my life, I was kind of veering away, and God always has a way of bringing you back, right? So my version of that was business started shaky, team started kind of splitting up, things weren't in order. But then, I opened the Bible, Ephesians 3:20, lean not on your own understanding. And then from there, man, I've been rock solid.
How can somebody get a Lamborghini in today's world?
The people that I've noticed in my life growing up who always talked about what they were going to do were always the people that never got anything done. For me, I'm impulsive. Right? Impulsive activity can be a good thing and a bad thing sometimes. And I've been on both ends before, but I would say because I'm impulsive, I don't wait on anything. I say, hey, I have an idea, let's execute, let's figure it out on the way, versus trying to have everything complete right now and then saying, then let's go, right? I'm not gonna spend 2 weeks on a logo. No, here's the name, here's the business, let's go. We'll figure all that, later. Yeah, you gotta take action. You don't take action, nothing gets done. And the sooner you take action, the sooner you'll figure out what needs to be fixed.
You got amazing advice, man. Thank you so much for your time. I I appreciate you, man. So we were at the Fontainebleau in Vegas, and I pulled up to my guy in the Lamborghini Urus. It turns out that he became a millionaire in his early 20s. But what I noticed about him and the most successful people in the entire world is that they have a faith and belief of God bigger than anything else. They know that at the end of the day, without God, nothing is possible, and that's why he became so successful and a millionaire at such a young age. Great interview, man. Let's go get this next one. Question for you, man. Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely been broke before.
What do you do for a living?
Manufacturing.
Manufacturing?
Specializing in medical supplies and military grade paint. We're actually the largest minority supplier in Western New York.
How old are you now?
I'm 45.
And if you were to go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self when you were starting from zero, what's the best advice that you would give to your younger self?
The best advice I heard was the world becomes a better place when a man plants seeds for the future generations for shade that he will never enjoy.
Break that down.
It's not about you. You don't hustle for you. What's your name?
James.
James. What's your last name?
Dumoulin.
You don't hustle for James. You hustle for Dumoulin. You hustle for the name on the back of your jersey. You hustle for your family. So it may not just be something that you're going to benefit from. You may be paving the way for your kids, your grandkids, and that's okay. The game is the long game. So as long as you're putting your people in position to be successful, that's where you win right there.
What has been the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
$5.4 million.
$5.4 million. Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm a seller.
Yeah?
I'm a seller. That's just in my nature. That's why I became an entrepreneur.
What do you think is more important, mindset or skill set?
Mindset.
Why?
Because you can open up a mindset to a different skill set. Most people with skill sets, they're set in their ways. People with an open mindset, doesn't matter what arena you put them in. They want to excel. Doesn't matter where you put me in the mailroom. I guarantee you within a certain period of time, I won't stay here. That's the best mindset to have. It's just, you know that there's always more to do.
And I see the cross sign. How important has faith been for you throughout your life?
That allows me to sleep at night. It provides my moral compass. Knowing that there's something bigger than you, that's the ego killer. It's bigger than you. There's something out here bigger than you.
You got amazing advice, sir.
I appreciate you, man. James?
What's your name?
My name is James, too.
James
Johnson.
Name of Kings.
That's
Name
right.
of Kings. So we were on the way to our next resort, and I caught my guy sitting out on the Vegas Strip. You know I had to go and ask him for some game. His business did $5 million this last year, but I love the advice that he gave on legacy. You cannot be in this for you, but rather the name on your back, because that is here for generations and generations to come. Great interview, man. Let's go get this next one. Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Why do you ask?
I go all over the country just asking people some questions on advice to the younger generation of kids coming out of school. Thought you had a beautiful car. Wanted to know if we could ask you a few questions for the channel.
Hit me, what do you got?
What do you do for a living to be able to put a Lamborghini out here in Las Vegas?
I do real estate out here in Las Vegas.
How long have you been in real estate for?
I've been in real estate for almost 20 years now.
What's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Tens of millions of dollars in revenue and net profit, I'll keep that to myself.
Do you come from money?
No. My dad left my sister and I with my mom when I was 1 and she was 3 years old. I'm a high school dropout and I didn't go to college. But what I always say, and I think it's important to say this because I think it's important for people to recognize it when it's within their reach. I didn't come from money, but I came from resources. But we all come from resources. It's just, are we conscious of them? So did I have somebody that I could go, hey, can you help me get better? And that person would respond and say yes. But it starts with the balls and the humility to look at that person and say, will you help me? That's what it starts with. So did I have a lack of resources where people were willing to help me? No. But do I give them all the credit? Fuck no. I get the credit because I had the balls to ask them.
We don't lack resources, we just lack resourcefulness.
Yes, there you go.
I
That's
love
a
it.
beautiful
I love it.
saying.
Let me ask you this,
Yeah, and I don't even know if coming from money is of benefit. Those poor guys get stripped of the beautiful experience of generating money. Think how sad that is. Think if you woke up, Andrew Tate said this one time, he really articulated it right. I understood the mindset, but he articulated it correctly. Could you imagine being a sheik where money is irrelevant? You could have anything on the planet. You could buy any of these hotels. Like, what a horrible feeling that you don't get that amazing dopamine rush of working hard for something, seeing the results, and then being able to go out and spoil yourself. Those guys got stripped of that on the day they were born. There's value in not coming from money.
As a multiple 8-figure entrepreneur, what's been the best financial advice that you've received throughout your career?
You can't save your way to being rich. You can't save your way to being rich. A lot of people will say to themselves, how can I afford that thing? And they bust out all their bills and they go, mortgage, car payment, cell phone bill, entertainment for food, gas, bullshit, 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 and then they see if they can afford it. That's not your problem. You need to make more money.
I love that. And how can someone make their money work for them in today's world?
I'm a big believer in buying cash flowing assets. I have been able to live a really abundant life with dumb shit and toys like this by buying assets that produce cash flow. And the asset that I like to buy is rental properties.
Right. Majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. What keeps people broke in today's world?
Politics keeps people broke. Football keeps people broke. All the distraction keeps people broke. Alcohol keeps people broke. Think about that. Every Sunday there's 75,000 fans times however many football games going on at a time. They love it. On Monday they wake up, they could barely make it to work. Those people, all that ambition has been washed away because they've all boozed the day before. Why do you think football's on a Sunday? If they wanted America to go back to work with life and ambition and drive, they'd put football on Saturday, because then they'd have Sunday to recover so they could go to work feeling great. So all that distraction, in my opinion, it's all designed to numb out society, numb out ambition, and just keep people being content waking up and going to work from 9 to 5. From 9 to 5. Think about this. When you put some guy in the wilderness with no distractions and no alcohol, no nonsense, and no resources, you come back 6 months later, the fucking guy's built a fort, he's got fucking games, he's got a way to fish, he's got a way to get clean water. That's the true, authentic being of a human. We are creators by default, but with no distraction.
What did you have to sacrifice to be able to build all this, man?
I sacrificed my health. I sacrificed my friend groups. I sacrificed my family. I sacrificed my sanity. I sacrificed every single part of my life. I sacrificed. But I look back now, and I'm grateful that I did. And I wouldn't change anything about it.
You got amazing advice. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate
that
you,
was
sir.
a long-winded interview.
So we caught my guy in the Lamborghini at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and he went from being broke to generating tens of millions of dollars in the real estate business. But my favorite advice from that entire interview was when he said, you cannot save your way to wealth. Scared money don't make money, so we got to do everything we can to make our money work for ourselves. But with that being said, let's go get this next interview. Excuse me, ma'am. Quick question for you. Is this your G-Wagon?
It is. Yeah.
And what do you do for living out in Las Vegas to be able to afford a G-Wagon?
I have an Airbnb business.
You have an Airbnb business. And how long have you been a business owner for?
About 3 years.
3 years. And over these last 3 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
This last year for my businesses, we generated almost $7 million.
$7 million. Have you ever been broke before?
I have, yes.
You have?
I definitely have. When I used to be a nanny, COVID hit, and so all my jobs are like, oh, we don't really need you anymore. But at the time, like, I had bills to pay, I had all of these expenses. I was down to like my last $20 bill. But, you know, you just have to figure it out. You have to go from there, yeah.
And what was that turning point like for you? Like, how did you know you wanted to get really serious about becoming financially free?
For me, I just didn't want to depend on other people, and I liked nannying, but it was still such a time for money exchange. So it was like, as much as I nanny, I can only work, you know, this many hours in a day, and so at most I'll only be able to make this amount of money. And for me, I just didn't like that. I wanted to make more money, I wanted to travel, and I didn't want other things to be able to dictate, like someone telling me, oh, sorry, we don't need you anymore. Like, for me, that was, it hurt a little bit, you know, but I just realized if I can work for myself and allow my money to make money for me, then I'll probably see more success.
I love it. Now, for somebody who may be broke right now, for somebody at rock bottom, what is an actionable step that they can take to get really serious about becoming successful and financially free like yourself?
I think a lot of people also think that they need a ton of cash to start businesses, but like even for me, before I started Airbnb, I didn't know that business credit was a thing. And so I would say if someone is broke right now and they have no money, if they have a job, maybe use that source of income to find something that will make you money, or even look into business credit and use business credit to start a business that will pay you. That way you can start having money come in without exchanging your time for it.
How old are you now?
21.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
You became a millionaire at 20.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Seriously, that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was actually unreal. Still, like today, I don't know if I fully processed it, but really quickly we saw success with the Airbnb business. Like I said, we went from making like $3,000 a month to $60,000 a month, hitting six figures, you know, within the first few months. And then like our first calendar year, we almost made $400,000 that year. And so we found success with Airbnb very quickly. And when we saw that it was successful for us, it was just like, it's a numbers game. The more we scale, the more money we'll make. And then from there, when we started teaching others, just really quickly, I don't know, it just expanded and the business grew.
Now, why was Airbnb your vehicle?
Honestly, I tried pretty much everything, like everything you see on Facebook and TikTok. I tried it all, and Airbnb is what worked for me first, so I just went with it.
How can somebody start creating wealth through Airbnb?
I would say scale. So if you don't have the means to buy, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to purchase property. You can rent. So start off by renting your first property. If you can purchase, for us, the house that we bought has been amazing. So if you can purchase, definitely go ahead and do that. But you can start off by renting, and then the more that you scale, the more money you'll make as long as you find winning properties. So really it's just, like I said, a numbers game. Just continue scaling, and as much money as you want to make, you truly can make it with Airbnb. You just have to keep getting more properties, and the numbers will just continue to increase.
Right. You have amazing advice. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that.
It was
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Las Vegas was insane, you guys. Some of my favorite content that I've ever shot. And we've got lots of amazing videos and content on the way very soon. So be sure to like and subscribe for this content because you do not want to miss out on it. And click the link in the description below because we just launched the Hard Knocks newsletter where we send out weekly updates, insights, and lessons from the world's top entrepreneurs and business owners. So go to the description below, click the link, and subscribe to the Hard Knocks newsletter now. With that that being said, we'll see you guys in the next video. Click right here to watch our full video going all over Dallas asking multimillionaires how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024.